Good afternoon, Albert's List. This is Albert. It is 5 o'clock in the afternoon on a Sunday afternoon, and many of you must be wondering, why in the heck am I even online right now? Well, I've been working on Albert's List this afternoon, and I have been doing some thinking, and I've been doing some writing, as well as sending out an email newsletter, which I'll drop the link for below in this group, and as well as how to join Albert's List now that we have a website up. So I wanted to talk about something today that's been kind of on my mind for a while. As a lot of you probably don't know, every year I write an article that I post to LinkedIn and various other spots about new graduates and what new graduates should know. And it's a really important article because it's been 7 years since I graduated, 7 years and a week actually. And it's been 7 years a week and a day to me waking up and wondering what the heck I was going to do with my life. Because I was sitting, at home the following Monday morning after graduation, and I was really lost. I was wondering, what on earth did 4 years of college and 13 years of elementary, middle, and high school get me? And we all know, right? We've all seen Avenue Q's little ditty about what I should do with a BA in English, right? 4 years of knowledge and oh so much college, and what do you get out of it? And in the past years, I've written everything from, learning how to network and figuring out what it is that you want. And all of these things are really, really important, and they're all really wonderful. But I was wondering, this year, what exactly do I know now, 7 years in after graduation? And this is especially important for all of you college kids. And for all of you professionals, you can chime in too. In my opinion, the most important thing for every single new graduate to learn today is absolutely nothing they learn from school. It is the art of being resilient, the art of being creative, and the art of discovering that you yourself are unstoppable. And so what does that exactly mean? The art of being resilient, the art of being unstoppable, and the art of being creative. In the sense that we all go out in the world and we become, or at least a lot of people want us to become, drones. And especially for those of you who grew up in the United States, this is really true. Because, as many of you know, America's education system was founded on an agrarian calendar. The reason why we go to school from September through June was that 100 years ago, a lot of people decided that they wanted to have kids in school for 9 months out of the year so that they could spend June, July, August, and early September planting crops. That is the only reason why we're not in school all year round for the most part. And now that we're in this day and age where we're now in the information age and we're all knowledge workers, I ask everybody who looks at today's school calendar, and I ask, why are we functioning on an agrarian calendar when the notion of being resilient, the notion of being able to be creative and be unstoppable is something that we never learn? I was making this example to somebody the other day in a Facebook Messenger chat, and I said, I haven't used the Pythagorean theorem in more than 11 years. The last time I touched calculus was March of 2017. I haven't solved a single integral. I haven't done a single derivative in nearly more than a decade. But when it came to buying this house and this kitchen that I'm sitting in now, I had no idea what it meant to have a mortgage, to have mortgage interest, all the tax-deductible things that we could all use when it comes to living a practical life. And that is the biggest challenge that I, as founding Albert's List, want to solve. But even more so when it comes to the greater message of what it means for every single professional, every single individual who is looking to really make a mark for themselves. And I believe that all 25,000 of you can actually do that if you set your heart out to it. There are so many stories, there are so many things that we as individuals need to do. And feel free to leave your comment below if you agree, disagree, have your own thoughts. I'd love to know that. But basically what I'm saying is that in order for each and every one of you in here to be successful in your careers, It is the notion of being resilient, of being creative and being unstoppable that will ultimately lead to whatever success that you have. And I'll give you a really quick example. I've been fired 4 times, or 3 or 4 times. They all blend together by now because maybe I think it'll happen again soon. I'm willing it not to because I'm kicking ass at my job right now and I'm kicking ass at doing this. But I've been let go and laid off at various certain points in my life, and I found myself jobless. Sometimes for a couple of weeks, sometimes for a couple of months, and each and every one of these times, it was resiliency that got me back into finding another job. And that's the most important thing that I think we as humanity must learn, because there are so many times where we are kicked and dropped, and sometimes we don't know how to get up again. And that's when we look to friends. That's when we look to different ideas that are important to us. And it is in those situations where we discover what we have as human potential. I know there's quite a few of you here watching. I know there's, Andrew here. He does Toastmasters. And for a lot of us, right, speaking in front of a crowd of people is the scariest thing that we can do. And Kim, I know you're one example too. That bike injury that you recovered from. And I know numerous ones of you, because I'm friends with a lot of you. You're running 5Ks. You're, starting up side hustles, whether it's a film business, whether it's another content website that you're building. We're all pursuing some kind of dream because we all have some sort of resiliency within us. We may never know why we start, but we definitely know why we finish and why we do what we do. And so, if there's any singular message that I want to offer to any new grad this year, above the you need to go network, and you need to go get a certification, and you need to, what else would there be? You need to apply for billions and billions and billions of jobs, talk to your mentor, go and get coffee with so-and-so. It's developing this mindset of resilience that will ultimately help you win in the end. Because there's a lot of people out there who already doubt you. There's a hiring manager who's going to open up JobBite tomorrow morning, and they're going to look for a reason to reject you. You're going to go to a networking event, or heck, even a July 4th barbecue here in the next couple of weeks, and there's going to be a person there who's looking to reject you because maybe your hair was, not pretty enough. Maybe the shirt you wore wasn't good enough. Maybe it was because you had a piece of broccoli in your teeth. Everybody is always coming up with excuses to reject you, and I know Lee Lin talks about this a lot too, and I'm going to reiterate it because there's so many people on this planet, and there's so many people applying for every singular job. And Mike Tomasello will talk about this too. And so your ability to bounce back from one rejection, multiples and multiples of rejections, and just going through the crazy things of life are ultimately what's going to help you succeed. So I know I've said this multiple times in this conversation now. And so resiliency is the first one. The second part is being creative. So there are so many problems and challenges that we face in this world. And I want to remind you that every single one of you is going to get hired, not because you want a job. I cannot emphasize it clearly enough that just because you want a job, that you will get one. You will not get one. You will get a job because you are creative, because you are solving problems, and because you bring in fresh ideas that are going to help take an organization to the next level. Whether it's helping them save more money, make more money, bridge gaps between some kind of process, deliver some kind of innovative idea. Each and every one of you here are part of the tool chain of what I call the career, because we're always continuously working together to make sure that something can come to market. So for those of you technical folks scoring at home, finding a career and maintaining your career is kind of like DevOps, where you have your professionalism tool chain tool, where you have your ability to think strategically, where you have your ability to think creatively, which is the most important one of these, where you have your ability to derive and find value for other people. Because as much as you think this career is about you, it is not about you. It is about the person who's above you. about that CEO getting that next yacht until you can start your own business. And if you're not doing what the CEO up above wants you to do, then you can go bye-bye. So that's the second part. And being creative also means, thinking strategically about how an industry is about to change. So I can't claim to look at every single industry, but I at least understand perhaps the mindset that you have to have going into every single industry. So for example, as a marketing manager, I think about how you can use content, relationships, different tools out there on the planet to help take your career to the next level. But if I were to look at, say, somebody who worked as a programmer, it would be leveraging a better set of tools. It would be using better sets of repositories. It would be seeing if you can connect via APIs. If it was for example, an accountant, I would think about how we could use the various different types of best practices to better leverage accounting, or to better create better policies that ultimately will save the company money, because everything comes back to communication. So that's pretty much the first aspect. The second aspect there, it's being creative. The first part we were talking about being resilient. So if you're new to joining this video, when I'm done recording it, go back to the very beginning and watch. And so the third part is thinking that you're unstoppable. So, Ayn Rand, who wrote Atlas Shrugged and is now kind of looked down upon because she happens to be the goddess of everything that the right-wing conservatives like, said that it's not a matter of what I want to do. It's a matter of, can I be stopped? Just paraphrasing that, one way or another. And so whether you believe in her politics or not, or whether you believe in what the politics has become, the notion of being unstoppable means that you're someone who can look at fear, who can look at danger, who can look at challenges in the eye and say, not today. Not today, not tomorrow, not next week, and certainly not yesterday. We're all here watching, all 17 of you, and eventually thousands more of you, because we were resilient enough to get up this morning and not let whatever chattering monkeys in our head get to us. Because undoubtedly there are chattering monkeys up in here every single day. You have them, I have them, everybody else has them. And so yes, exactly, confidence is an attitude. And so your ability to continuously project that confidence and know that you're unstoppable. My thing is, when it comes to everything at the end of the day, if I were to lose my job going into work tomorrow, Monday morning, I know my next 10 steps, just like that. Let me just snap it like that. And every one of you should know what it is too, because you should know your goals. You should know what it is that will make you an even more resilient individual. So it's Sunday afternoon. It's 5:14. I've droned on for 13 minutes. And I hope you're planning out your day and your week ahead. We're right up to July 4th and right in line with the themes of how you become a more independent person. You become more independent, and you declare your career independence by being resilient, by being creative, and by being unstoppable, and getting in that mindset of unstoppability. So that's it for me today. That's kind of my thought for all the new graduates who are wondering what's next. It's been a couple of weeks to a month after many of you have left the friendly confines of your university classroom. And if you're thinking about what's next and what kind of mindset you need to develop to get there, that's exactly it. So with that, I wish you a wonderful rest of your weekend and what's left of it. And we'll see you here on Monday morning, ready to rock and roll. Have a good Sunday. Bye.